Starting this Saturday, South Korea will lift its pre-travel COVID-19 testing requirements for inbound travelers. Virus prevention measures will also be eased for the upcoming Chuseok holiday, also sometimes known as Korean Thanksgiving. That begins in just over a week from now. Shi-hoo with this report.
From this Saturday, September 3rd, people departing for South Korea will no longer have to take a PCR test before traveling. That's according to the nation's Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure headquarters on Wednesday. The change applies to both South Korean citizens and non-citizens. Currently, all those arriving must submit negative results of a PCR test taken within 48 hours of arrival or a Rapid Antigen Test taken within 24 hours of arrival before being allowed to enter the country. Then, within 1 day of arrival, they must take an additional PCR test. Such measures have been criticized for the inconvenience and financial burden they put on travelers. While negative COVID-19 test results will no longer be required in order to enter the country, the QR code arrival system will remain, and travelers must still take PCR tests within 1 day of arrival to minimize the spread of COVID-19 variants from overseas. Meanwhile, the government has also decided to introduce in the fourth quarter what are known as bivalent vaccines, which can target both the original COVID-19 strain and certain variants. In this case, the vaccines offered will target the BA.5 Omicron subvariant. Those over 60 and those with underlying health conditions will have priority in receiving the shots, but adults over 18 who have completed their second shots of the COVID-19 vaccine could also receive the bivalent shots if they wish. SK Bioscience's SkyCoV-1 vaccine will also start being used from September. COVID-19 restrictions will also be eased for the upcoming Chuseok holiday. Authorities will push to exempt toll fees on highways around the country during the 4-day holiday. There will be no restrictions on family gatherings and visits, and eating will be allowed on buses, trains, and at highway rest areas. At 9 rest areas around the country, COVID-19 test centers will be set up to offer free PCR tests. But in-person visits to nursing homes and facilities where there are many vulnerable people will still be restricted. Meanwhile, South Korea reported 103,961 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday, around 11,000 fewer than the day before and 35,000 fewer than a week ago. There are currently 569 severely ill patients and there were 75 COVID-related deaths. Shi-hoo, Arirang News.